Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Hanging at the Rooster Coop. Today, I'm very excited to interview Dr. Lisa Perdue, who owns Asian Integrative Medicine, which is located in Boca Raton. She also works in other locations, sometimes in South Florida, which she'll share a little bit about. And this today is actually a really special interview for me because Lisa is actually my acupuncturist. And I met her a couple years ago when I was in a very, very difficult stage of life. I was grieving deeply. I was dealing with a lot of trauma that I had dealt with. And I never heard of acupuncture or, different types of Chinese medicine for that purpose. And thankfully, somebody referred me to Lisa. And I can say that one of the reasons that I'm standing here today, able to do what I do, speak about what I've been through, is because of her. And I think often people think of acupuncture, things like that, just for pain. And I've had such a great experience with her for something else. So I'm just really thankful for you. You've had such a contribution to my life.
Oh, thank you for having me here and sharing that.
Yeah, and it's just really special because you really help people on a daily basis and make an impact in their lives. And I'm one of those people. And I'm so thankful. I'm so happy to have you here to share about what you do with other people so they can learn about you. So I'm just going to dive right in so you get to learn more about Lisa. So Lisa, tell us about why you got into Chinese medicine and acupuncture.
Well, I actually was training with one of my training buddies in New York, and we were talking about life. And he actually said, well, I'm in school for acupuncture, and why don't you come be my patient? I said, why? There's nothing wrong with me. I feel fantastic. And he said, well, what if you can feel better? So after having that small, brief conversation, I said, well, I have nothing to lose. So I went into the student clinic at Pacific College of Oriental Medicine. I was his patient for 2 weeks, twice a week. And at the end of the 2 weeks, I was like, wow, I really do feel so much better than I already did. And I already thought I was sitting on top of the world. So I
That's
said,
a pretty good reaction.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was like, what if somebody came in that was sick? How much more dynamic are they going to feel? So from there, I was sitting in the dean's office right after my appointment trying to figure out how to transfer all my pre-med stuff from the university over to the college in Oriental Medicine in Manhattan.
Wow, that's awesome. So you got the experience for yourself and then decided to take
Reluctant
that and help a lot
at
more
first
people.
Because there was nothing wrong with me. But what I found is that, even if there's nothing wrong with you, you can still have benefits.
Right. So talk about that, because what are the types of people, what are some of the issues that you do treat? As you said, you felt fine, but people come to you with all different types of things that they're dealing with. So what do you work with people on?
Primarily, people come in because they have some type of physical pain or an ache somewhere, and it can be a physical or an emotional ache. And some of those are often overlooked. In acupuncture can treat a wide range of health concerns, and then also for preventative health. So neck pain, back pain, sciatica, like you said, grieving, emotional traumas, PTSD, many different significant health concerns that often Western medicine just wants to prescribe a pill.
Right. And I think that's such a interesting thing that you said that, because I think often we think the solution has to come in a pill, and there's so many side effects that come from that. Sometimes it just doesn't even work anyways. So you're dealing with the side effects potentially of medication and not getting the benefits. And this is just a totally different way to treat that I think really gives real results.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I know you don't just do acupuncture. So what are some of the other things, what are some of the other services you offer in your office to really give that all-encompassing treatment?
Mainly people find me for acupuncture. I also have a high-tech laser that I use for people who don't like needles, or their pain is over a big range of the body, and then they're going to have like 100 needles in them. At that point, I'm going to use distal needles, only a handful, and then choose to use the laser to cover the bigger surface areas, especially in some of the delicate, sensitive areas where people have pain, like across the rib cage. I'd rather use the laser because it's less invasive and it's quick.
Right.
I also have my own private label of organic essential oils. I
Nice.
use medical Qigong, which is a branch of Chinese medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And it just depends on who's in front of me. I kind of customize what's best for that person if they're not shifting with just one modality.
Yeah, and that's what I loved about, when I went in to see Lisa, I thought I was just going to go for acupuncture. And it became very clear that there were other things that she was an expert in, like the medical Qigong that she included in my treatments that really helped. And I feel like it was that you took your expertise and you treated me the way that you thought was going to give me the best benefit.
Yeah, sometimes I have to sneak in another modality on people without telling them. And then they're like, what happened? Oh, we just changed it a little bit to keep you guessing. But it's usually just to primarily get the body to shift the fastest and get the results.
Yeah, well, I know I saw that. So I think that's a great way to do it. So one of the things that I've become aware of, as I've been more in the health and wellness industry, and even knowing my friends and my sister went through this, when people have fertility issues, something that's becoming more common is, acupuncture to help with that. So how does that work?
Well, usually when we're working with fertility challenged couples or people that are trying to get pregnant, what happens is the body just is out of alignment. It's like taking your car in for a tune-up. Usually once the body starts to rebalance itself with acupuncture, the body will do significant things to change. Like maybe there'll be a healthier period. Maybe they'll be able to contain a pregnancy. They work over the reproductive organs, obviously, but sometimes it's also nutritional based. So it's just, again, whoever's in front of you, and the primary focus on reproductive organs, hormone balancing, and just really getting them their body to function as possible for the conception.
That's awesome. And you work with men and women with fertility, right? It's not just women.
Absolutely. Sometimes they come in as a couple. Sometimes they come in as a single parent trying to do everything on their own. And sometimes it's a same-sex couple that are looking for alternatives to help facilitate their care.
That's awesome. So you're helping people have babies.
Yes, it's fantastic. No one yet has said I owe them for babysitting duty yet, but
that's awesome. That's really cool, because I know that people that go through that and have a hard time getting pregnant is really challenging, and are often looking for a way to really things right to make that happen.
It's amazing how much people don't know about their own fertility health. Like we're not taught as we're always taught how to not get pregnant, but we're not told about the signs that are very beneficial to help us look for, more opportune times for conception. So
that's awesome.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. So if you're out there and, you want to get pregnant, you're looking for, a good solution, definitely make sure you check out Asian Integrative Medicine with Lisa, because I think she can help you out. So let's talk about pain now. As you said, many people come in to see you for pain. So how do you identify what people need, what's really going on, and treat them for that?
Well, regardless of whoever's coming in or what they're coming in for, they come in for an initial consultation. And in that initial consultation, before treatment even happens, you're diagnosing, you're seeing signs of what someone may resonate with, if they have an apprehension about needles. And from there, it's just kind of customizing what would work best for that person. For pain, sometimes it's easy. They can say, oh, it's right here, or I feel it here. And I'm like, whoa, wait, let me trace that area again very slow. Let me make sure what meridians are being encompassed, and then go from there. People like the idea of acupuncture, and some people prefer the idea of the laser. There's nothing breaking the skin. So it's just, again, who's in front of you and just peeling off the layers.
That's awesome. And, you mentioned the meridians. And one of the things when I first went to Lisa, she showed me how we're all connected, right? All the elements in our bodies, emotionally and physically. And, that sometimes what you're experiencing is coming from somewhere totally different in your body, and you may be feeling something somewhere. And I would experience that where you would, do something in my ear and I would feel it in my foot. And, that's really cool. Can you share a little bit about that, for people that maybe aren't familiar with how that works?
Well, it's quite interesting because everything is connected. So, it's just like the analogy of going to your dentist. It's like you don't just brush your teeth the day before you go. You got to do all this work. You got to floss. You got to do everything. It's the same thing with prepping the body for health. I mean, even though people come in usually when there's a symptom, there's a lot of due diligence they have to do once they come in and become a patient. It's not like it's magic and I'm doing all the work. Like they have homework, whether it's cleaning up the diet, adding in supplements, adding in Chinese herbs, you know, and pushing themselves past their fears sometimes. So it's the interconnectedness, and the body has a dynamic way of healing itself.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible to see how it works. And, you know, as you said, you have to do the work, but I think if you do that and go see that, you know, you can see real results. So why don't you share a little bit about what medical Qigong is? You know, the first time I'd ever heard of it, I'd heard of Qigong a little bit, right, which is a physical practice. And you shared with me about, you know, medical Qigong. And I think it's just so interesting and was definitely integral to my visits with you. And I'd love for you to share kind of how that works with people.
Medical Qigong is quite interesting. It is one of the branches of Chinese medicine. It's not one of the more popular studied ones. It is very hard to explain. It is an experiential type of treatment that sometimes I just have to sneak in on patients, and they're like, wow, what did we do different? And then I'll explain a little bit afterwards. However, being that said, it's a non-needle therapy. It uses gentle massage on specific organs or meridians, and it's using guided hands on specific acupuncture points, maybe to open up a specific area. And sometimes sound and color are used, but really it's just sitting back as a practitioner and seeing what the body is ready to let go of. And then from there, you just kind of remove it energetically, and then allow the body to refill in with good energy, which is called qi, the vital force of life, the Chinese medicine. And the shift continues to happen as the patient leaves.
Yeah, that was definitely my experience with it. You know, it was interesting when I came in to see Lisa, as I mentioned all the things I was dealing with, and I didn't even realize the energy that was going on in my body. It was almost like I was shaking. There was so much disbalance. I don't even know the right way to say it. And then I remember at the end of the treatment, you know, and again, this was a combination of things. I felt still for the first time in a long time, like really like my body was still, which again, I didn't even know it wasn't still until I felt what it was like to be still. And it was just unbelievable to have that experience. I mean, you know.
Well, I think when somebody has a PTSD or a big shock like you had, it was, you don't realize what your survival mechanism will do to keep you moving. Yeah, and I remember that I could function so much better, though, after I saw you. Like, I was in that survival mechanism. That's what had kind of shown up for me. And then all of a sudden, I was in a space where I felt more still. My body was more calm. I could sleep better, and I could just function better. And it was really the start of my healing and recovery process. So, you know, she said it's hard to explain how it works, but the experience is really incredible. If you had to explain it, it's almost a loss for words. It is definitely something that is completely unexpected, and things that show up in a medical Qigong treatment can be very old and very deep, but we don't have to relive it, and we can just get rid of it. Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me why you're so passionate about what you do. I mean, you can see it in how you talk about it, and obviously your own experience and your experience with other people, but you know, what keeps you going every day? I think the major thing is the transformation. I mean, it's like someone will walk in and they look okay, but when they leave, there's something different. Like whether they feel it, they realize it, they're either brighter, there's more shine behind their eyes, they walk out with a little bit more of a pep in their step. It's the full transformation of the patient almost before your eyes that I'm like, how can I capture that on film? Yeah. How can I bottle that? How can I bottle that? You know, it is just such a dynamic shift for some people to see them, and that's what just keeps me in this industry. Well, I know for me, you know, it's been an incredible transformation. I know you do that every day, so you know, it's just amazing that you get to do that. I get to be a part of it. The patient is actually the one doing the work. Yeah, well, it's so incredible. And so, again, for anyone out there that, you know, whatever you're dealing with or you're dealing with, you know, you don't have anything but you need that balance, or you have pain, or looking to get pregnant. I know Lisa also deals with people that have acne, so skin treatments and things like that. Preventative health is key. That's what keeps me doing my physical sports that I do.
Yeah, exactly. If you're an athlete, you know, CrossFitter, you name it, you're doing triathlons, she is the lady to see. So I'm so thankful to have you here.
Very much for having me.
We're going to post information so you can get in touch with Lisa, learn more about what she does and her practice. And we'll see you all next time. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.